Hi everyone and welcome to Tuesday's writing lesson. Today we are learning to write a narrative, and a narrative is another word for a story. To be successful, you should be able to say and do these things. I can use the picture to write a story. I can include an interesting title, characters, a setting, a problem, a solution, and an ending in my story. I can write in full sentences. That means that you have an uppercase letter at the start of your sentence and full stops at the end of your sentences. I can use paragraphs and I can edit or check my writing. So that means, does my writing make sense? Have I used full stops at the end of my sentences? Have I used uppercase letters at the start of my sentences? Have I underlined words that I'm not sure how to spell? Today, when you are doing your writing, all you will need is your writing book, a pencil, and the Tuesday activity slides. For today's activity, you are going to be writing a narrative. A narrative is a story. To write your story today, you are going to use the picture that you can see on your screen. If you go to the next slide, there is a much larger version of this picture so that you can have a closer look. Before you start writing though, I would like you to think about the following things. So think about, who are the characters in my story? Where is my story taking place? So what is the setting? What is happening at the beginning of my story or at the start? What is the problem in the story? How is the problem fixed? So the solution. And what happened at the very end of your story? You need to make sure that you write in full sentences. That means that you have an uppercase letter at the start of every sentence and that you have a full stop at the end of every sentence. You also need to make sure that you use a new paragraph to show the beginning, middle, and end of your story. If you're a little bit stuck and you're not sure what to write or where to start your writing, here is an activity that might help you. I would like you to look at the narrative plan on the right of your screen. This plan shows all the parts that you need for your story. At the top, you'll notice it says the title of my story is. You can leave that part until the end if you would like to, because sometimes we can't come up with a title until we know where our story is going and what our story is going to be about. So let's move to the next part, which is your setting. If you have a look at the picture, think about, where is the story happening? It looks like they're on a train, so maybe your whole story happens on the train. Or if you look closely out the windows, it looks like there are lots of buildings. And when I look at this picture, it reminds me of a big city. So maybe a city like Melbourne or Sydney. You might have your story set in a different city. The next part is your characters. So I want you to think about, who are the characters in the story. There are lots of pictures of people on this train that you could use as your characters. So your main character might be the little girl, and you can give those characters names. So you might call the girl Rachel. The next part is the problem. The problem could be anything that you want it to be. It could be that the crocodile has gone for a trip to the city and he's got lost and now he can't find his way back home to the river. It could be anything that you want, anything that comes from your imagination. And then the solution is, how do they fix the problem? So maybe the little girl who we named Rachel, maybe she helps the crocodile find his way home again. So this is just a way for you to think about your ideas before you start writing. So you don't have to fill this template in, but you might want to get a pencil and write down some of your ideas just like it's displayed on the screen, and then you can start your writing.